Hey, so you may have heard the slogan, right? The only easy day was yesterday. Now, this slogan, right, is to remind us, right, that the process isn't always easy, and that sometimes we don't want to face the biggest challenges in our way, even though we know that that's the most direct route to where we want to go, right? But instead of fearing the fact that every single day that there's going to be some challenges, there's going to be some obstacles in your way, that there's going to be things that are tough that you have to deal with, I don't want you to be afraid of it. I want you to embrace it, right? And today's story is to remind you that the easiest way isn't always the best way or, isn't the way to go most of the time. So, there once was this bird, this lark, and he's sitting in his tree and he's sitting on a path, and a farmer comes walking by with a jar. And the lark's a curious bird, and he stops his singing and he asks him, "Where are you going with that box?" And the farmer says, "I'm going to the market." And he says, "Well, what's in that jar? What's in that box you have there?" And the farmer explains to him that it's a jar full of worms that he's going to the market to trade for some feathers. Now the lark has a bright idea and he says, "Oh, I have many feathers, right? How about I give you a couple of my feathers, you give me your jar of worms. Not only does that save you a trip to the market, but it saves me all day for looking for worms to eat." And so the farmer thinks that's a pretty good deal, right? So he hands over the jar of worms, and the lark picks out a few feathers, hands them over, and they both go on their way happily. Now this continues for days and days and days until one day the lark doesn't have any more feathers. Now the farmer is not going to trade him the worms, and instead the lark stops singing because he doesn't feel very beautiful, and he can't fly anymore, so he can't hunt for worms. And I think you kind of know what happens to the lark. Now, the moral of the story, right? It's quite clear. The lark thought that that was the easiest way to get food, right? And it actually turned out to be the toughest way, right? Maybe not in that very instant, but at the end, he learned that that might have not have been the best or the wisest choice, even though it felt easier, even though it felt like the simplest choice at the time. So today, right, some things might look like the easier way, but I want you to ask yourself, ask your tuition, ask your gut, is this exactly what I should be doing? Is this going to help me get where I want to be, eventually in the long run? So a lot of times those quick, easy fixes turn out to get us into a stickier predicament or situation in the long run. So hopefully, let's keep that idea kind of in our back of our head for the rest of the week. Hopefully that inspires you to not always fear the obstacles, not always fear or run away from our challenges, but to take them head on, because they are going to make you stronger and make you the person that you want to become, so that you can get to where you want to be quicker, faster, and of course, right, happier in the long run.